We're going to look now at a beginner classical piece called Country Dance. This is a grade 1 repertoire song from the Royal Conservatory. It's written by Fernando Carulli and will use some of the skills that we've already seen quite a bit in our fingerstyle songs. If you're a Mel Bay player, if you're halfway through Mel Bay Method 1, you can probably play this. A real beginner could start on this kind of material, or if you're through a Hal Leonard book or so, you could do this as well. I've written it in standard notation as the book gives us, but also put it in tab here so that you can see that if you like as well. Although I want everybody reading notes, tab is easier for me to write just as it's easier for you to read. So very often I'll use it instead of notating a song, but in this case I've given you both. Here we have the open B and open G. Those will be played with your I and M fingers, index and middle. The thumb will be playing the open D string. In response, it'll be fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb. So the thumb is in charge of the lower strings. So we're in 2/4, meaning 2 beats per bar, 1 and 2 and. When you see the stem up, they're trying to emphasize that that's the melody, and all the down stems would say these are background notes. MF is Mezzoforte, it's going to be medium loud. When you're first reading a song and practicing it, you can ignore that, but as you start to polish it and try to make it into a musical piece rather than an exercise, then you go in and you work on your dynamics. So we've got G chord, the G and B with the D note. Then a D7 chord. They don't label the chords, but if you see them and know them, it makes the playing so much easier. If you had a D7 chord, you'd see that you have a C note and an A note occupied on the second and third strings. That's what we're playing, again with these 2 fingers. And answering with the 4th string, open D. Back to a G, and then a little run, C, B, and then A in the next bar. On a G chord, that C is a sus. Up to there again, G chord, D7, G chord and the run, D chord, and then you see the A and the high D notes. You can treat them like individual notes, or you could think of the chord. Very often I'll use my pinky on that high D for comfort. As always, the book does not use a repeat sign here. They write these 2 bars out again, but I use a repeat just so I can save some space here. So I'm playing the G and the D7 again. Jumping into a second ending G. It does the exact same thing. We did C, B to A, except this time it's on a D7 chord, so it goes C, A, so we can end on the G. A low G, 3rd fret, and an open G string. Then you play all of that again with both endings. Down here in tab we see the same thing. Opens, 1 and 2. Opens, 1, O, then the 2, O, and 3 of a D chord. Asking you for a repeat. D7. G, but I mean second ending. 1 and 2, G. I've done it once here, let's say that's the repeat. In either case, you're going to do what we just did twice. Second line, we move to the D7 chord. So we've gone from 1s and 5s up to the 5 chord. We're forte now, we're going to be louder. I'm not going to play it loud right now. Because these are the top 2 strings, your exercise, this training method, is going to ask for the M finger on string 2 and the A finger on string 1. So you use those 2 fingers on the high strings in a D7 chord again. You can finger just the F sharp and C, or you could actually be holding a D7 if it's easier. And answer again with the open D string. G and open B, this high G. Open B, open G, that's second and third finger, so pointer and middle. Back into D7, and a run down. At this moment, they move to the stronger fingers, the M and the I on these notes. Then we're going to repeat. Back to the D7, using the middle 2 fingers. G. And then a G chord again. Low G note, 3rd fret, 6th string, with the open B. This again repeats now using both my endings. Again, they don't write two endings, they just write this out twice. Let's look at it in tab though. Here's your D7, Forte line, 2 and 1 on the top strings. I may have that middle finger in there because I would be thinking of a D7 chord. G, D7, run, ending 1 on G. Repeating D7, G, D7, run, and the low G, 3rd fret 6th string, and the open B. So this line went twice and this line went twice, whether we read it in notation or tab. Now we're here, we've gone from a G chord to its 5 chord, resolving on the 1 again, and now into the relative minor. Classical music does this so often. They'll play the song in the relative major and then do another section, even rephrasing the melody with the minor. I've labeled it 6, but we're actually probably in the key of the relative minor now. We've actually changed keys from major to minor. We're at piano. This is quiet. This takes all 4 digits, P-I-M-A, up the E minor arpeggio. E, open G, open B, and open E. To save space, I've used this little repeater that just says do that bar again. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... This is a B7 chord, which you know already. All we're going to do is play the D sharp note here and the pinky on the F sharp. The thumb on the 4th string and the A and M fingers. This, E minor, you may refinger totally. I'm just going to slide the chord. Play it with the G once and then the open. So B, slide up for an E minor, and then open this string. A classical book would not be allowing you to do that. You'd use your pointer and ring finger on the B7, and then your 2 and your pinky on the E minor. Now we have a run on the B where the 3rd string note is your thumb, just like in our Jerry Snyder book, and the answer is on the 2nd string with the M finger. Same thing on the E, we walk down the arpeggio, open G, E, back into our B chord. That's a 5 of E minor, so we end on E minor. We started quiet and we're going to crescendo, and we're going to decrescendo to the end, but we are repeating that again. Rather than play it here, now let's look at the tab where we play it once. Repeat. 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 2 and opens. Thumb, answered by the middle finger. I'm going to play it again here, because I talk too much. So they've written in dynamics, we're going to start this line or this line medium loud. The D7 line will be loud. The last line starts piano, gets louder, and gets quieter again, and plays again. Along with those dynamics, you can also adapt your time a little bit. You can speed up little portions, you can put in breaths for your pause. At first you want to learn to play right on the beat, but you can start to express it your own way. Let's try it out once, sort of slowly here. The one thing to note though is in exams you don't play your repeats. So this line goes twice, this line twice, and this line twice. If you were playing in an exam, you wouldn't do that. You'd play each one once just to show you know all the parts. You may lose some of your musical expressiveness that way because you may want to repeat louder or quieter. But let's do it that way once it's slow speed. So I'll play it off of here. I will try a little bit Mezzoforte here. 1 and 2 and... Let's hear it just a little quicker now with the repeats. 1 and 2 and... A 1 and 2, 3, 4.